Hey, Michael with X-Force PC. I'm here to talk to you today about the flight velocity panel, I guess you'd call it. And what this is a frame to hold avionics. Now, if you're not a G1000 person, don't click away just yet. The flight velocity people make a lot of different panels that can support all the Logitech panels, the flight instrument panel, radio panel, switch panel, multi-panel. They also make some other panels which might even support iPads. I'm not quite sure about that one though. But go to Flight Velocity's website and, if you're not into G1000s, and still check out, what they have to offer. But a lot of the things I say about this panel will apply to all the other panels that they have. So again, what we have here is their G1000 panel, and what this is designed for is to be used with the honeycomb yoke and the throttle that's going to come from the people that make the honeycomb yoke that isn't available yet. And so what we have to use in the meantime, and they've set it up this way, is this just Logitech throttle we're using. And you can see there's a cutout here that's all ready to go whenever the throttle comes out from the honeycomb people. So it is ready for that. Now, you might say, who is this for? Well, first of all, let's talk about what are the various options you have if you buy the Realsimgear G1000 suite. So option number one is, of course, you could just mount the thing into your own custom-built panel. And of course, you'd cut out the holes the right size and all that good stuff. And some people are doing that. The next logical, I'm going from most logical or most basic to thinking more outside the box here. The next would be buying the stand from Realsimgear. So Realsimgear makes a stand for this G1000 suite. I think it costs a little over $200, possibly maybe $220. I'll put something up on the screen. And basically it's a kickstand type stand for the G1000 suite. And it's fine, it's made of metal, it works, it's perfectly suitable. But the biggest problem with it is you either have to set it over to the side of your yoke, or, you have to put it behind your yoke, so now it's too far away, or you have to make some sort of little shelf thing that'll allow it to sit on top up here, kind of at the level where these are at, and so that you can get them closer to you. So that's the Realsimgear stand. The third option, and these are all options I'm aware of, I'm sure there's other options out there, but the third option would be this flight velocity panel. Now this flight velocity panel costs about the same as the Realsimgear little kickstand panel. And this thing is made of plastic, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that's your third option. We're going to circle back. Fourth option is made by Stay Level Avionics, and we use that with our high-end G1000 package that we sell. But it is very expensive. I think they're pushing $800 now, if I'm not mistaken. It's all metal. It's handmade in the USA. Just a terrifically great product, but boy, do you pay for it. It's very expensive. So if money is no object, Stay Level all the way. And you might say, well, if I'm spending $2,000 on the Realsimgear suite, why would I put it in a plastic panel? Here's why you might do that. If you already have in your cart the stand that comes with the Realsimgear G1000 suite, you're at Realsimgear, you've got the G1000 suite in your cart, you throw in their stand, which I think is about $220, that's where you should maybe pause for a second. Because for the same money, or slightly less even, you can have the flight velocity panel. Now, yes, it is made of plastic, so it does flex a little bit if you push on it. But they've done a remarkably good job with a very lightweight product, which is fairly thick plastic though. And I just think that if you're considering the Realsimgear stand, or even if you already have it and are using it, that this is such a better option. And the reason is it gets your G1000 suite up at the proper level, not down on the table. It gets it out from behind your yoke. Most likely you've got it behind your yoke, or you've rigged up some sort of stand for it to sit on. And none of those are particularly elegant solutions. This solution works remarkably well. Now let's talk a little bit more in depth about how it attaches to the table. Okay, so the way this thing attaches to the table is it's got this little L bracket type thing, and the holes on it match up perfectly. This is the one actually for the throttle, but there's one for the honeycomb. And so the holes line up perfectly with the top of the honeycomb, and then these 3 screws here hold the panel to the top of the honeycomb. Now over on this side, since this throttle made by the honeycomb folks is not available yet, they've made it so that this punch out, you can see clearly here the punch out, will support a Logitech throttle in the meantime while you wait on this throttle that's coming from the honeycomb people. Now, so what you'll eventually do is you'll punch this out, you'll mount your, I forget what the thing's called, but let's just call it the honeycomb throttle. I know that's not what it's really called, but it's from the same people. You'll mount that in here, and then you'll take this same bracket or similar bracket and put it on top, and this will go behind this panel, and that's what will hold this end of the panel. Now, temporarily, since they know that these throttles don't exist yet, you can see these 4 screws here. They give you a little bracket that you can put back here and a C-clamp to just clamp it down to the desk temporarily. And again, they've got pre-drilled holes for the Logitech throttle. So that's how it attaches to the table. Now, there is some flex in it. If you push on it, it will give, I don't know, 1/4 to 1/2 inch. But when you push these buttons with the appropriate force, you can hear them clicking. The thing barely moves at all. It is very stable. The least stable or the most flex is going to be in this far upper right corner. But it is still maybe 1/8 of an inch when I'm pressing these buttons with the appropriate amount of force. So let me circle back and say, who is this for? This is not for the guy that has unlimited money. That's what the stay level panel is for. This is for the guy who was considering buying the Realsimgear stand, but wants something that will elevate his G1000 suite, get it closer to him at the appropriate eye level, and make a nice little finished product, and is going to use the honeycomb yoke and their throttle when it comes out. Now, do go to the Flight Velocity website and look at all their different panels. They have like 15 or maybe more. I don't know. It's a lot of different panels. They support the Logitech panels and all that. So if you're not doing G1000, still go there to Flight Velocity and check out, what they've got. I was very skeptical of this product when we first got it in here because it's very, it's plastic. And I was just like, really, how good could plastic hold up? But I've been remarkably surprised. If you take your time, you attach it to your desk the way you're supposed to, you'll find, in my opinion, that it'll perform quite well. Quite well.